Episode 9 is about to begin. But in case you missed episode 8, here's what you missed. I know I left y'all hanging, but here's the deal. We're about to roll. We're about to go do it. Like we've seen this, we understand this, right? And we're catching them. I get it. But sometimes you got to make a move, right? Sometimes you got to make a move. We already just made a huge move, right? We came into this area, started catching them. We know no one's been here. But look, man, we got to go try to win this thing. So I looked at Brent, and this is the conversation I had. You can't hear us in the wind. You can barely hear it. I go, man, do you really think we can catch a big one doing this? Or if we can we just catch one? I mean, come on, let's face the music. That's really probably what's going to happen. So let's go try to win this thing out deep. A little bit of a bank left. Let's rush through this kind of quick and go. Man, we don't have that much time left, right? Half our days are already over. That's this. That was us talking right here on that cast.
Dude, how about that, son? I don't know if we can hit it. Heck yeah, we can. Heck yeah, we can, dude. He's gonna leech him out. Hey, boy, dude, I was swinging. Well, he kept on. World class better. He kept on. I was like, man, I'm gonna let him roll around because he ain't ready yet. I ain't letting him get out there in that grass. Just do what we do. Let's just do what we do. Now he's starting the big ones over here.
Okay, we did not see that coming. That came, not that we couldn't catch a big one, it's just, it literally came on the next cast after we made this decision to leave. Well, look, if any of y'all have followed me along, right, I'm not the guy that gets too excited. But most of the time when y'all see me, I'm in Opens and Toyotas, and I'm just gonna be really honest here. Normally I have a guy in the back that I don't know. He's really not a part of what I do in the sense of, you know, I'm fishing against everyone else. He's not a team partner. He's fishing against everyone else on his deal. It's different. It's always been different. But guys, I've been fishing team tournaments all my life. I love them. They are way more fun than individual events. I'm with one of my best friends and we got excited. Now, why did we get excited? That's what I want to talk to y'all about. Not some 14 pounder we caught or a 10 pounder. It wasn't how big the fish was that got us excited, because we caught 2 of these the same size yesterday and we didn't get that excited. The reason we got excited was because we're on them. We figured it out. We have literally made another decision to do something different. It's paying off. We're doing it on day 2 in the middle of the event. Guys, I don't understand. Think back to any of y'all who fish tournaments. That means something. You got to think about how many times do you sit there and keep on forcing the issue, doing other things. I'm telling you guys, this is the part of the video that should open everyone's eyes. This is the eye opener. This is it. It's not gonna work every time like this, but do you know how many times we've done this in tournaments? We're excited because we know what's about to happen now. That's not a fluke. All these fish we're catching aren't flukes. We have figured out the deal. Did we figure it out too late? We don't know that. We don't care. We don't have some giant bag right now. We've got like 15, 16 pounds. It's still, even if we weigh this in, I don't even know if we'll get a check. It's not the point. We've got a little bit of time left. We've got a couple hours, and we've got it dialed in. Almost all the way dialed in. But now we've got it dialed in. So now we pump the brakes. We ain't going nowhere. Not yet. Not yet. We might go somewhere, but not yet. So we slow down. Brent is catching some fish on that jig. Is he ever? So we keep fishing, and then Brent wants to he wants to show out. He kind of becomes like, you know those guys like ball hogs? He becomes a little bit of a fish hog right here. He just starts catching them, and man, look at this one. He catches some big ones.
What's up, scissor? Boy, you don't even know about that. Freaking choke.
He's catching this big one, and he's catching. It even makes me now drop the Chapo, and even try a jig. Now, we had talked about this jig deal. He's throwing a white one. Y'all notice the wind, right? Sorry about that, right? The wind's bad. I told y'all it was bad. It's blowing every day. Well, that white swim jig in the wind, and it's a little bit dirty, looks good in the water. But I go, man, he also had some bite that missed it. I had some bites on the Chapo that missed it. Now, let me explain this real quick. When the ones I got to bite and miss, as I'm reeling this consistently, right? So I'm throwing it out there, hits water, and as I start to reel, I haven't had a single fish miss yet. So the color's right, the size is right, the speed, everything I'm doing is right. The only ones I've had miss is where it literally hits the water and I can't even like crank on it and one explodes on it. I'll miss those. It happens every once in a while near the grass and those, what I call little stem bushes, bush stems up on the bank. So there's a lot going on here. Brent's catching them. He's catching a lot up there really, really, really shallow. Like I can't really, I'm trying to throw up there, but he's able to throw it there and make the jig kind of land in the water nice and smooth, and mine kind of splashes real loud and gets hung up on a little piece of grass and I wasted the cast or it messes up. His swim jig always looks right. Well, as we're going through all this, a couple more things start to happen. Here's one. When you start all this, you got to imagine, I showed y'all the entire lake, correct? I showed you the entire lake, and we were trying to dial in half the lake. And that's what we started to do, right? And we're looking for areas. We've got our area. There's no more dial in that area. We've got the area. Now it comes into the other dialing in. We're dialing in specific details. And I mean every detail that we can see, we're trying to figure it out. The wind, the water clarity, the sun, the time of the day, how they're hitting, where they're hitting. They're not all hitting up on the bank. Some are hitting in the middle. What does the grass look like? How deep are we? The grass is a big deal. What it looks like, and we'll figure out another reason of what it looks like. And what I mean by that, I know that's going all over the place, but hear me out. We're trying to find, they're on some of the edges, but as we look out over, there is a flat of grass out there that goes for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of yards. We know that there's fish out in there, that grass. We can't necessarily dial that in just yet. And now we don't have that much time, right? So we're working on a limited amount of time, because now you'll see in the video, I'll talk about what time it is. It's in between 10 and 11. And remember, we got to weigh in at 2:15. So we can't just goof around too much and wander too much away from what we're doing. So we're trying to figure out, do we fish more the edge of the grass, up here? Are they in the middle? Can we even catch more of them out there, a cast into the grass? Although it's kind of hard to fish it because of the way it grows out there. We got all this going on, but we're still catching them. Then Brent catches another big one on a swim jig, right? And so I was going, okay, I'm not gonna throw another white swim jig. I'm gonna put on a real natural one. Put on a real natural one and start throwing it around. Just here and there. Just when we power pull down and we have to start like dissecting places, I wanna make sure we're not leaving any behind. So here we go. We're going again and going again. And that jig is working probably better than the Chapo in the sense of bites. But remember, I did have a big one on it. I don't care about bites, neither does Brent. In the sense of, he can get 90% of the bites and he's okay with getting 90, and I'm okay with him getting 90% of them, and me just getting a random big one every once in a while. And vice versa. We don't really care about who's getting bit as long as we're covering all the water. And that's all we're trying to do, is not leave a fish. You know, some of them aren't always gonna hit that Chapo, some of them aren't always gonna hit that jig, but we're trying to find the stupid, dumb, active ones. So that's what we're doing. So we're going through there, and we're catching fish. And it's working, and it's working great. But we also see another problem coming up ahead. We're running out of water. And what I mean by that is, eventually the grass is gonna run out, those sticks are gonna run out, and we're gonna get to where there's the grass and the sticks and there's nothing more, and it's just bare again. So we're trying to make every single fish and cast count. I mean, we are literally moving about 30 feet and then power pole down and dissecting everything. He'll throw over here, I'll throw over here. We'll switch sides. We'll do everything we can, trying to maximize it all. because it's not one of those things where you just keep casting. Like you could cast that jig 50 times in a row. If one was there, it probably ate right away. So you don't have to sit there and milk it. You just have to make sure you hit it all. So we're doing that. We're still trying to figure out, like I said, we don't want to miss one over here, right? We still throw a little bit into the grass sometimes, or we still throw out here. We're still doing some things, but we're still moving along. Well, we get closer and closer and closer, and the wind starts to die down a little bit. We got bit all the way till the end, all the way. As we get to the end where we're kind of running out, now we got a decision to make. We've already been thinking about this. We don't even have to talk to each other. It's died down, and we can do one of two things. We can roll now and go hit those trees, roll and hit some deep spots. I don't know if the bite was getting better or worse. Like when we started doing this, it was good. It has, when I say slow down, it's slowed down, but we don't really think it's because of the bite slow down. It's more because we got out of like the juice area. But we're like, okay, like we got this. We see it. That's the big deal. We see what we need to see. And so we're looking around the lake going, where is it? Now I had already made some observations earlier as we're coming back there, and I saw more of this grass and matted, nasty, horrible looking stuff. And I go, man, Brent, look, we're having a good time. I don't want to go waste our time going out there. I don't know what's going to happen in them trees. I don't know what's going to happen on them deep spots. But we've got a pretty good bag rolling right now, like a pretty decent bag, and you just never know. Let's go. What do you think? Like, it's more about noticing like the pattern. Yeah. So look, man, I think we can do it from here to here. Where? But look. What do you think? And he's like me. He's like, hey, let's go keep doing this. Maybe we don't win. Maybe it doesn't work out. Man, this is awesome. We figured it out. We are guaranteed. We are freaking crushing on them better than anyone else in the tournament, as far as we've got the pattern, we've got the fish going, we've got everything working. Let's go keep running it. So I said, does that look good? He's like, yeah. I said, man, it's not the same. It's not the same, but it's close in the sense of a lot of our stuff wasn't working great way back in creeks. We noticed that. If you remember, all this stuff starts to tie in. Remember that creek I showed y'all earlier in the series, Four Fingers? Most of the grass I was fishing was main lake. When we went back into Four Fingers, I don't have a lot of that on video. You wanna know why? We didn't catch anything. So everything was really, really main lake stuff. And it didn't have to be all the way main lake, but I mean, main lake had to be kind of right there. So we're going, Brent had already gone back in this giant area and hadn't really caught them. But once again, we weren't looking at it the same. Now everything looks totally different in our heads. Like when we got there, depending on where you're from, we all tend to fish things that look like what we're comfortable with, right? What we're used to. So if you're used to a certain way something looks, when you look at that on another lake, you're like, oh, this will work there. You know, this bait, I understand all this. Well, that's what we did when we came to Choke Canyon. We were looking at the grass a certain way and caught fish in it. Now we're not looking at it the same, looking at it totally different. So now it opens up our eyes to what all we focus now on is what we're seeing now on where fish are. So we're like, okay, let's roll. Let's just go real fast until we run into them. We should run into some. Like there's gotta be these little, they're not wolf packs, they're groups of fish in a fairly decent sized area. Now as we're rolling, we've got a very short amount of time left now. We've got less than 2 hours, and we're trying to cover over 1 mile to 2 miles of shoreline in that amount of time. And we're passing by this little place, it looks like an island, and I'm going, that island we're gonna catch some, right? But do we hit it right now, or do we go, like, I go, man, we don't know, like let's just go over there. If we have to, we'll come to that island. But that island's gonna catch a fish. You'll hear it say that. But we go over there. So we roll out down there, and there's no one. When I say there's not a boat in sight, we haven't seen a boat in hours, and we literally can't see a boat on the lake anywhere in this creek, pocket, giant area, whatever we're in. There's nobody. So we roll in there, and we go right to the stuff that looks right to us. But then again, we're a mile or two away from where we just caught fish. So once again, we're making a move. Y'all catch where I'm going with this, guys? We have no problems in a tournament. 2 hours left, we're crushing on them, leaving where we just crushed on them to go somewhere else that we have not been. We know we could go catch them in the trees, possibly. We know we can go catch them in the rocks, possibly, or out deep, or even back. No. We have zero problem. Day 2, good bag. Hey, well, let's go over there because it looks the same.
It was clean back there.
That is freaking heck yes.
Oh, dude, it's freaking. I'm not saying we'll catch anything. It's 1,000% the right deal.
Oh, it looks freaking awesome, dude. Guys, that's pattern fishing. This is what this entire series is about. This is what I've been trying to relay to y'all. That, man, a lot of people might say, man, you got a lot of guts making that move. No, man, that's what fishing is. I promise y'all. So we roll over there. Now, doesn't mean we're gonna catch anything. So we put the trolling motor down and we go to fishing. And we go to fishing. And we go to casting. And we're looking around going, kind of looks the same. The grass didn't look the same. The grass had this kind of muck on it. The other grass was a lot cleaner. We start to think we know why it's cleaner, but this grass looks a little bit older, muckier. Looks like it just looks hotter, or like 10 degrees hotter where we're at. I mean, it just looks that stagnant-y looking water. But we're gonna keep going, because that's what we do.
We just need one more good little stretch.
We just keep going and casting and kind of looking around, and we're always looking in the water, because it's kind of clear now. And we're going, okay, bound to be, we're gonna run into something, right? Right? I don't know. We don't have much time to figure this out. We got to get going. But like I said, it only takes one. One bite. Are we back on track? I don't know. We'll find out next time. Last episode. Stay tuned. See how it all goes down. See y'all guys.